Today, I'm going to say something that might challenge everything you think you know about percussion instruction. It's not performance, it's not chops, it's not your ability, but it's about instruction. And if you're listening to this as a young technician, a caption head, a lesson teacher, or somebody who wants to get there someday, then hear me out. This episode isn't about attacking players. It's about separating performing from teaching, because those are not the same profession. And if you can understand the difference and build your skill set accordingly, you're going to become one of the most valuable people in this entire activity. In case you didn't know, this is Mike, the host of the SoundstageEDU Podcast. And today we're talking to percussionists and percussion instructors. So let's start with something unforgettable. A lot of percussionists believe that because they can play well, that they can teach well. But here's the difference. Performing is output. Teaching is input. And yes, this ties to my profession as a production engineer. But I think you guys get that. Performing is self-expression. Teaching is translation. Performing is, look at what I can do. And teaching is, let me show you how to do it too. And I've seen absolute monsters on instruments, world-class players, who crumbled the moment they had to teach 8th graders how to hold sticks. And listen, that's not disrespect. That's reality. We have different lenses. We come from a different universe. Now I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit, and I'm going to speak some real truth. I'm going to maybe say some things that are uncomfortable or some things that we don't want to confront or talk about, but I'm going to do it. But musicians, especially percussionists, are often neurodivergent. You know, ADHD, ASD, OCD, anxiety spectrum, hyperfocus tendencies. It's all in the room, whether people say it out loud or not. Me, personally, I am autistic. Diagnosed. It's not a theory. It's not a self-diagnosis. And if you're anything like me, here's how your brain works. You don't respond to authority. You don't respond to just because. You don't listen to rules for the sake of rules. You respond to logic, proof, and reasons. And that's why often a lot of instructors run into friction when they feel like the kids just don't respect them. And it's not that they don't respect you. I mean, well, maybe they don't. Let's be real. But maybe they just don't respond to your authority because of the way their brain is wired. So I'm not going to say you should teach, not chop. I'm going to say, here's why, and here's the evidence. And maybe you can frame it that way. That way, the next time you're in your classroom, you have a different way of approaching things. So here's some true data. I'm going to take a drink. Okay. Your chops don't scale. And what I mean by that is once you're done marching, there's no professional economy that pays adults to just show off rudiments online. I know that stung some of you. But what does scale, and scales permanently, is teaching. If you can teach, you will always have work. Is it easy to find that work? No. But it's available, more readily available than chopping in a parking lot in front of a camera. Teaching scales because you have private lessons, teaching indoor and marching, consulting, arranging, caption head gigs, full-time positions, college adjunct, percussion studio leadership. I mean, I could build you a long list here. And I want you to hear me clearly. Ensembles don't collapse because the tech can't play fast. I'll let that sit there for a moment. Ensembles don't collapse because the tech can't play fast. They collapse because the tech can't teach basics. If your drumline can't play in time, listen back, listen vertically, if they can't balance, phrase, breathe, interpret, I mean, it really doesn't matter if your snare tech can play 175 notes in a second. That does nothing for the ensemble. Here's what separates a performer from an educator. And they're both valid. We need performers, right? Fine arts are entertainment for a lot of us, so we need the performers. So I don't want to discount that. But we're coming from the perspective of being an educator. A performer can play fast. They can play clean, and they can impress a crowd. They can gain followers on social media for their videos and stick tricks. However, an educator can diagnose technique issues. They can fix them efficiently. They can communicate with every learning style, and there are several. They can teach rhythm literacy. It's just like math. They can develop sound quality, reduce tension, and build listening skills. And they can create a culture where kids want to improve. If you cannot do those things, you're not a percussion instructor yet. You're a percussionist who wants to teach. And that's not an insult. That's simply a starting line. So imagine this. You walk into a rehearsal. You've got a battery of kids who can't control rebound. They have inconsistent downstrokes. They play with tension, and they don't understand subdivision. I mean, I just described half of the high school drum lines out there. That's just the reality of it. And you walk in there and your lesson plan is, hey guys, watch me play something cool. That's not teaching. That's performing with witnesses. So here's what a real percussion educator does. They teach the students how to hold the sticks without tension. They teach why a stroke works, not just what it looks like. They teach rebound instead of muscle. They teach sound quality over volume. They teach listening over ego. They teach musicality, not just velocity, consistency instead of tricks. And they teach a student how to teach the next student. That's how programs grow. That's how culture forms. And that's how championship lines happen. A lot of percussionists don't want to teach because they think teaching means giving up being a performer. But here's the secret. The best teachers were always the best performers. They just evolved. Listen, you don't stop being a percussionist when you teach. You multiply your impact. Performing is addition. Teaching is multiplication. A performer affects a crowd, but a teacher affects generations. So if you're a young tech and all you've ever known is chopping online, I'm not telling you to stop. I'm telling you to add to it. Go learn pedagogy. Go sit in on rehearsals with great teachers. Go learn how to fix wrists, fingers, fulcrum, stroke types, timing, phrasing, tuning. Because the future of percussion isn't the guys with the fastest hands. It's the one who knows how to build musicians. Listen, anybody can play fast. Not everybody can take a group of scared beginners with terrible technique and turn them into confident musical percussionists. That's the real flex. Chops get attention, but teaching gets results. Be the person who builds the activity, not just shows off in it. This has been Mike with SoundstageEDU. Be sure you're following this podcast if you want more episodes like this. Leave us a rating, leave us a comment, come to our socials, follow us there as well. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to build this series with your input. So reach out. You can find me at soundstageedu@gmail.com. So remember to follow, remember to email. And remember, chops do not mean that you can teach, but we can make it better. Take care.